Pamela Lankford, Director of the Epicenter. So I worked with a teacher at Warren Middle School who taught a marketing and entrepreneurship class. And the problem scenario we developed was, would it be feasible for the Barlow-Vincent area to have a movie theater? A small, not a multi-screen, but maybe a two or three screen movie theater. So the expectations are that, first of all, we sort of have to have an idea of who the target market is. And the target market can be gleaned from resources such as trade associations and even talking to other movie theaters of who makes up the bulk of their customers. Knowing that, then we need to look at what area is going to be served by this movie theater. And in that area, what are our numbers in terms of those target markets? So once we're able to sort of look at that, the next step is to say, all right, we have so many people, where are they currently going? Obviously in this area we know that there are really three areas, especially for the western part of the county, that the students looked at. That was obviously Parkersburg, Marietta, and Athens. So they were able to do some research in looking at those. What are their offerings? How many screens do they have? What are their pricings? And of course, how far does it take and how long does it take for them to get there? Because the hope would be, in assessing this, is the proximity to the target market is going to drive people to come there rather than driving further distances. So they had to look at the competition factor, they had to look at the pricing factor, they had to look at the target market, they had to also look at what was going to be their competitive advantage. Was it going to be more than just that location? So the first steps I would do would be look at population and the demographics and really being able to define, again, I would look broadly and I would go out to those national trade associations because many times they will have state of the state or state of the industry reports that can tell you specifically who your target customers are, how often they go to a movie theater, how much do they spend, how far are they willing to travel. So if we can look at that on a global perspective and then narrow that down, we're going to look at what kind of numbers, how many times are people coming? Are they going to come once a week or are they going to come once a month? And after looking at that, I need to then look at my pricing. And looking at the competition, what are they charging? Are we going to be able to charge as much? If we don't have the offerings, if maybe we don't have the newest releases, we've got to put our pricing factor into that. Then of course I'm going to look at, do we have enough to drive people? And then lastly, the big piece of that is, once we're sort of able to do some projections in terms of looking at, do we have a feasible customer base, is then the big question, right? Do we have enough income coming in that's going to cover all of the expenses that we're going to have? And I think it would be very difficult, the fact that, especially listening to many of the students out there, that they, even having a close proximity, they felt there was nothing that was going to drive their parents to drop them off there, that they're still going to go to a more major area where the parents can do shopping while the kids are going to a movie. So based on some of those discussions and also looking at the small numbers and the fact that there are three close by movie theaters with broader offerings, probably not.